You. Hello. It is July 5th, 2026, and I'm Heath.
I'm Holly.
Look at her. Just look at that little smile over there. It's the day after Independence Day, and we're slightly late, but that's okay because we're going to do our overview episode for the next week's readings. Isn't that exciting, Holly?
Yep.
Oh, look how excited she is. That's interesting. I'm trying to share and I'm having a problem. Oh, there it is. Found it. Hooray! Now, we can hear the music. We're actually successfully sharing. Welcome to the OneGospel Bible Caravan. And we're going through a chronological Bible study in 1 year. And this is an overview episode for readings 185 through 189. As I fade the music. Look at that, Holly. Look where we're at. We're at the slightly more than halfway mark. She has no comment. Look, she's smiling again. Oh boy, I'm going to just start playing lots of sound effects for you, young lady. Are you ready? There we go. Okay. So, coming up, we got a heaping helping of Psalms. What do you think about that, Hall?
Awesome.
Yes, these are Psalms that are variously, through different traditions, have different authors, and we'll talk about that. Because, there's your answer. So, some of these are the Psalms of the sons of Korah, who can be found in 1 Chronicles 9:19. In Acts, it tells us that Psalm 2 is a Psalm of David. In 1 Chronicles, due to quoting, we can see that Psalms 105 and 106 are definitely Psalms of David. In the Greek version of the Old Testament, we have a number of Psalms that are ascribed to David that are just listed as anonymous Psalms in the Hebrew Bible. In the Syriac one, we have another Psalm of David. And in the Jewish tradition, as found in the Targum or Midrash, we have Psalms of David. And then we do have ones that have there's no tradition that's old that assigns an author to it. And then we've got the mysterious one, Psalm 92, which is anonymous, except for Jewish tradition, which says it's a psalm of the first man, which would mean it would be Adam, which would mean it's like the oldest book of the Bible, what do you think about that, Holly?
Wild.
Holly says it's wild. Okay, so now a little bit about continuity here. So 1 Chronicles 16:7, that says, on this special day, David delivered a psalm into the hand of Asaph and his brothers to thank the Lord. So this is a psalm of thanksgiving. But when you look at it, it's actually a mixture of the psalms that we have in our book of Psalms. So 1 Chronicles 16:8 through 22 comes from Psalm 105. But then it jumps to Psalm 96, and you can see it's like a big chunk of it, 13 verses. Then we have just a single verse that is found in Psalm 106 in the beginning, but then we have a couple verses from the end of Psalm 106. And so, what do you think about all this, Holly?
Well, I think that if he's the author of these Psalms, that he could, use his content in different ways, and that it's quite possible that that's just what he did there.
Yeah, I mean, there's why couldn't David do that with his own Psalms? Even if they weren't his Psalms, he could have done that anyway.
In such a way.
Yes, yes.
Rearranged.
Yes.
It's the same vein.
Yeah, when people they'll take like a couple hymns and they'll just kind of jam them together.
And then do a snappy reframe that's all there.
Yes. That's
It's a
just
today, contemporary
yes.
music, they sing it through.
Yes. Yes. So, but this is interesting because it shows that this creative process happened as recorded in the book of Chronicles thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of cool.
It's very cool.
I'm going to vote for cool. Okay, there we go. I don't know why I hit the laugh. That was the wrong one. That's okay. How about this one? No, not that one. This one. No.
Just stop.
That's it. That's the one I wanted. All right, there we go. Now, we like to pull everything into the time of Jesus, and we do that because he's the center of the one gospel universe. So we actually have a quote from the second psalm found in Acts. Go ahead, Holly.
Acts 4:24-26. So when they heard that, they raised their voice to God with one accord and said, Lord, you are God, who made heaven and earth and sea, and all that is in them, who by the mouth of your servant David had said, why did the nations rage, and the people plot vain things? The kings of the earth took their stand, and the rulers were gathered together against the Lord and against his Christ.
Psalm 2, 1-2.
Why do the nations rage, and the people plot a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed.
So you can see that this second psalm, again, Acts 4, Peter speaking, he says this is what David said, even though the Hebrew Bible does not actually say who wrote it.
It's good.
Psalm 45:6.
It's like they read Chronicles.
Well, they had information that wasn't there. Psalm 45:6. Your throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of your kingdom.
Hebrews 1:8. But to the Son he says, your throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of your kingdom.
So Hebrews says that this was written directed to the Son, and that Son is referred to as a God. So this is clearly an example where you have a quote, but the author of the epistle to the Hebrews is giving insight that would not have been clear at the time of its writing. Is that fair, Holly?
Absolutely.
Okay, Holly says that's okay.
Psalm 91:11-12. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone.
Matthew 4:6, and said to him, this is Satan speaking, if you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge over you, and in their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. And that is quoted again in Luke 4:10 in the same sort of the same instance. Mm-hmm. So here we have an example of the adversary. That's what Satan means, the adversary. The adversary quoting a psalm, but not really using it in a very edifying way, I would say. I would say this is an example of taking something out of context, saying like, hey, well, you can just throw yourself off the top of a temple. Yeah, Holly's shaking her head. Yeah, she's like, yeah, that's bad. Okay, I'm probably getting annoying with these sound effects by now, aren't I, Holly?
Probably.
Okay, Holly
says
stop. Okay, we got some references from Jesus. Go ahead, Holly.
Psalm 48, 1-2. Jesus is the city of the great king.
Jesus, that's wrong. It's Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Jerusalem is the city of the great king. And
Reference.
yes, Jesus says that in his sermon. Psalm 102, 25 to 27. Heaven and earth will pass away. So we see that in Psalm 102. Jesus makes multiple references to that, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And then there's also a related prophecy by Isaiah, which would be worth looking at as well at the same time.
Psalm 104:27. You may give them their food in due season. And Psalm 105:21. You made him Lord of his house, are both found as blessings for the faithful and wise servant in Matthew 24:45.
It's almost like when Jesus said his parable that he was deliberately referencing Psalms.
Yeah.
Almost. No, that's clearly what the intent was. When the people of the day would hear what he was saying, they would make that connection.
Yes. Speak to their audience.
Psalm 107:9. He fills the hungry soul with good things. And that is found in Matthew 5:6 and Luke 6:2, where blessed are the hungry, for they will be filled.
Yes. Psalm 112:10. The wicked will be grieved and gnash their teeth is found in many verses. Matthew 8:11, 13:36 to 50, 22:11 through 48 to 51, and 25, 26 to 30.
Yes, the gospel connection to that is always that they're talking about the punishment of those after the judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And you can look at Psalm 12 and say, what was the context of this? And is it the same thing or not? That's your rhetorical question. Yes. Look at this. Mary, mother of Jesus.
Psalm 111:9. He has sent redemption to his people. He has commanded his covenant forever. Holy and awesome is his name.
For he who is mighty has done great things for me, and holy is his name. More Mary.
Is that like from the Magnificat?
It's from the Magnificat.
Yes. References by Mary continued. Psalm 113:7. He raises the poor out of the dust and lifts the needy out of the ash heap.
Luke 1:52. He has put down the mighty from their thrones and exalted the lowly.
Psalm 107:9. For he satisfies the longing soul and fills the hungry soul with goodness.
Luke 1:53. He has filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he has sent away empty.
We're up to caravan questions.
These are questions that they're rhetorical. There is a possibility that Holly will pick one for next week.
Okay.
But they're just questions that I think are, kind of food for thought as you do your week, as you do the readings of this week. Or if you listen to us on the video, you can listen to us mangle the Old Testament. It's fun. We go back and forth verse by verse.
Psalm 1:1. This is the first of at least 15 Beatitudes found in Psalms. How do they relate to Jesus' Beatitudes in Luke 6:20 to 22 and Matthew 5:3 through 11?
Yes. Beatitude, dear listener, just means it's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So Jesus will say, blessed is this, blessed is that. Well, that form is found in the Old Testament, and the Psalms are full of them.
Mm-hmm.
Psalm 1:5. Is it possible that this is talking about the resurrection of the righteous, as described in Luke 14:14? There's a lot of things in the Hebrew Bible that one could say, you know what? I see kind of a clue to a resurrection of the dead and a final judgment. And so that might be one of them for you.
Psalm 2:7. What kind of son of God is this describing? How does this compare to Matthew 3:17, Mark 1:11, and Luke 3:22?
Well, that's when we have a Psalm of David where he says, "This day I have begotten you. Behold my son. This day I have begotten you." That's what he says in Psalm. Whereas when Jesus was baptized, he says, "Behold my son in whom I am well pleased." So the question is this, just compare them and think about it. Psalm 33:6. Does this give new information about creation above and beyond Genesis 1? There's lots of verses where they talk about how God stretched out the heavens or his spirit was involved in the creation. So this is one of those verses that you might kind of compare with.
Psalm 45:8. Compare the aromatic plants on the anointed king with the burial preparation of Jesus. John 19:39.
Yes. Was this another sign of Jesus's kingship? Psalm 47:5. God has gone up with a shout, with the sound of a trumpet. Jesus returns to the sound of a trumpet in Matthew 24:31. Do you think they're meant to be related, these passages?
Psalm 49:15. The psalmist is confident he will not suffer in Sheol, but is not clear about how or why this will happen, even though he says elsewhere both the wise and the foolish die, verse 10, and that the price of redemption is great, verse 8. Why is this?
Yes. So for those of you who are like, what's Sheol? Sheol is the land of the dead. So when someone dies, their soul goes to Sheol, according to old tradition. And the psalmist is like, yeah, everyone dies, both the wise and the foolish. Yet he felt, I'm not going to suffer in Sheol. And he didn't say why he felt that. He did know that the redemption of one's soul, there's a large price with this. So that's again, that's someone who has some information, but they're looking forward to something that they haven't seen yet.
Psalm 84:11. Is this precondition for being given good things implicit to Matthew 7:11?
I don't even know what to say about that. It's too old. I've written that too long ago to remember. What do you think it is, Holly? Is that like something like the blessed are the hungry, they're going to be given good things, something like that?
Possibly.
And so what does it mean to be hungry? Matthew 7:11.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably something like that. Psalm 85:9. So a lot of things you see in the Old Testament. They talk about the word salvation. But salvation can be a lot of things. It can be physical, spiritual, or both. So the question is Psalm 85:9. What do you think about that? How should we read that?
Psalm 96:5. The gods and Elohim of the people are idols, Hebrews, and are demons, Greek. Are both versions inspired?
Yeah. So in Psalm 96:5, if you read your version, it's almost definitely based on the Hebrew. So they'll say that that the foreign gods are idols, but in the Greek version, it says that these foreign gods are demons, which an idol you would just think of as a lifeless statue, something with no inherent power itself, whereas a demon has a life of its own. Does it not, Holly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's alive.
So do you think they're both true? And that is a question.
Yes, it is. I did look up your 84:11 and your Matthew 7:11. A couple things back, and it has to do with giving good gifts.
Okay.
So there's a hint.
Okay.
My fair listeners, look up 84:11 and Matthew 7:11, and you'll see the connection.
Oh, good.
I did when I looked it up, but I'm not giving the answers away. You're supposed to use this as a cup.
Okay.
Grow as we read.
There we go. Carry on.
Right. I was just tempted being silly, but
I thought it was.
Times.
Wait a minute. No, it's this one. No, it's that one. There we go.
There you go.
They can't stop laughing.
Yeah.
They're still laughing. Okay, they're done now.
Settle down now.
Yeah.
Psalm 98, 2 through 3. Understanding that Jesus' name is Yeshua, which means salvation. Read these verses using Jesus instead of salvation for another view of this passage. Oh, that's clever.
Mm-hmm. Holly's just accused me of being clever. Psalm 104, 29 to 30. The breath and spirit of Yahweh, creator of the world, is what brings life to the sea creatures. And without this breath, they would be dust. So compare that to descriptions of land creatures, Genesis 7, 15 to 22, and mankind in Ecclesiastes 12, 7.
Oh, I like that too. Good question, T. That's a pondering.
Yeah, it's a ponderer.
Compare and contrast. Psalm 105, 8 through 11. Compare the application of God's oath to Abraham. Compare the application of God's oath to Abraham's in Luke, to what's in Luke 1, 71 through 75.
There we go. Psalm 105, 8 to 11 is referring to God's oath to Abraham. And we're saying compare that application of Abraham's oath to what is said in Luke 171, which is also referring to, like God remembering his covenant to his people that he promised to Abraham.
Yes.
Psalm 105, 43. Are the chosen ones the same as the elect of Jesus's prophecies? Because Jesus says in his prophecies that, that all flesh would be destroyed except for the elect, or that there would be false prophets that would deceive everyone except for the elect. And so, but in Psalms, they use the term chosen ones, which, chosen one and elect, at least in English, means the same thing. So do you think it's the same people?
It's possible.
It's possible.
I think.
I think so too.
So Psalm 106, 37. Shed, or is that right, the way you wrote it, Mr.?
Shed is a Hebrew word.
Okay, so make sure. Shed are translated as demons. They were guardian spirits with chimeric bodies in the Akkadian Sumerian culture. So what are we supposed to be getting at?
I didn't put that as a question. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. No, a word that in English is translated as demon, the Hebrew word is shed. It actually is a much older word that goes back to the Sumerians. That were guardian spirits with chimeric bodies. So the Sumerians would have looked to these entities shed as like guardians, but from the Bible point of view, just like we said earlier, that the gods of the other people were demons.
Yeah.
This is an example of that.
There you go.
Look at that. Yeah, I know.
Psalm 107, 19 to 20. At the cry of his people, Yahweh sends his word, who heals and delivers them. Who might this personified word be? Who might that be?
Yeah, who's the word who heals and delivers them? Yes, the answer to all questions in Sunday school is Jesus. Psalm 107, 3. The gathering from all directions, north, south, east, and west, is found here. And it's also found in Isaiah 49, 12. Is this the same as Jesus' prophecy of a great gathering from the north, the south, the east, and the west, found in Matthew 8, 11 and Luke 13, 29? Okay, let's make this study together. So please pass on ways the law, the prophets, and the Psalms connect to Jesus. Please pass on other important cross references that I did not provide. Please give me feedback on making the chronological sequence better. It can be better. In fact, in the future, if we have another version of this chronological Bible, then a number of the Psalms we're going to put with First Chronicles 9:19, because that's where the sons of Korah are. And a number of Psalms, because our best guess is that it comes from David, we're going to put it in David's life and not at some random place afterwards in like the time of Hezekiah, which is where we are now in this chronological sequence. Bless their hearts, right, Holly?
Yeah.
Look at that. You know who that is? Who's the guy with the big harp who's like partying when this big chest is like coming in a parade? Who's that guy?
Who could that be?
You don't want to guess.
Could it be?
I think it's David.
I knew it was David.
Why didn't you say it?
Because I wanted to have an opportunity to sing from the Great American Hero.
Oh, believe it or not, he's walking on air. Okay.
It's David.
Yes. Okay, Holly. So you want to wave to the camera one more time? See you in a week, humans. Take care.